Hello everyone, welcome to Grounded Roots Healing. I remain Jason, at least for the time being. So the microphone in my last two videos, I don't think that's gonna work out. I guess you can't get that much for $35 on the internet. It was less than ideal. Anyway, let me know, give me some feedback, but I don't think the quality of the sound was that great. Especially not on the first one. I had it too close to my lapel. But I had some thoughts about, well, giving our power away. Some more thoughts about it, let's say. So I watched this video of a purported channeler, tarot reader. There's thousands of them on YouTube. And giving your power away. So this lady was talking about you want something. You want the rose, but God wants to give you the garden. And she said something like this. So, and your consciousness pales in comparison to the consciousness of the Almighty, and that you're nothing in compared to the Almighty, and that you need to bow down to the Almighty. Now, this is where this particular person is on their journey. Like I've said in my other videos, that's her truth right now. But I don't believe that to be true. We are God. Your consciousness doesn't pale in comparison to God's. You are God. You are God. Are. Not kind of like, not a little tiny sliver of. You are. We all are. Now, this would be considered blasphemous in the Catholic Church, and I'm sure many other religions actually, except Hinduism. No, yeah, we're known as the Godhead, the Atman and the Brahman. So, this is the definition of giving your power away. You give your power to a higher power. Instead of putting someone on a pedestal and believing everything they say because they know more than you about this particular subject at this time, you put God as if God is separate from you. It's something outside you to be put on a pedestal. It's a golden calf. And it's a mistake. It's a spiritual trap that many, many, many people who are purported to be religious, at the very least, do. They put themselves in an immediate hole and put something outside themselves on a pedestal. This is not how it works. Now, I was there as well. I was at that point on this journey. I'm not saying she's wrong to be thinking that way or to even be speaking it. She couldn't do anything otherwise. She is fulfilling the role that she was intended to play, and she's at exactly the point where she's supposed to be at this point in her life, and she's speaking her truth. I commend her for it. And I know it's not the whole truth. This is why there are yogis and there are followers. Because the yogi has gone up the ladder farther. It can see through these little traps, he or she, and can show through example, through their own presence what actually is going on. You are God. Not kind of like, not a bit little sliver of, the whole package, the whole thing. You don't get to have all of the abilities that God would have incarnate down here, because then what kind of a story would that be? Yet. You know, my current understanding of this would be closely associated with what Alan Watts taught. Now, Alan Watts was a spiritual entertainer, he called himself. He was a flawed human being. He admitted it himself. He didn't claim to be enlightened, but he did understand these topics and was very adept at explaining it in a way that was digestible, let's say. There's a reason people were drawn to him and on the topics he talked about. And I am no different. I've consumed a lot of his material. And for a long time, I didn't quite understand. I didn't believe it, really. Not truly. What do you mean we are God? Okay, we're a bit of God or something like this, but, you know, you're still here. No. So he's got a lot of material, but in one of his speeches, he says, imagine that you could dream any dream you wanted. And that in those dreams, you could, one night of dreaming, you could dream 75 years of time. And as you naturally would experience all the pleasures and excitements that you can think of, still knowing that you're God, still knowing you're immortal. And as you did this for an infinite number of nights, eventually you would become bored with this, or you'd want to take further and further out gambles, as he says, to the point so that you would not know what's going to happen next in the dream. And you would come out of that and you would say, oh boy, that was a close shake. And you'd get to the point where you would not only want to experience the good things that life has to offer, but the ones where you don't even know if you're going to make it out alive, where you don't know that you're immortal, and that you so that you would be in the dream and believe it completely, without a shadow of a doubt that, of course, this is all there is. And within the infinite multiplicity of the things that could happen in these 75 years of dreaming per night, you could eventually dream the dream you're having right now. And that is my current truth. That is what I think happens. At least at my current level of ascending the escalator of awakening. The onion peel has been pulled back, and this is how I see it now. But I'm not so foolish as to believe that this is the end. That another layer doesn't get pulled back. That my understanding won't deepen. It will. This is the spiritual ego trip, where you think, now I know it all. Now I really understand it. This makes total sense. This is where it stops. This is where spiritual teachers get in trouble. This is where gurus, they start to think that they understand everything. There's nothing more to learn. There always is. You know, this movie that we're playing, if you think of it that way, then what are the limitations on this movie, this dream that you're in? Just conceive of that. You are God, an infinitely powerful being, having a dream, and you're pretending you're not. Then why, at some point in this dream, your 75 years of life, wouldn't you turn on the knowing? That's awakening. You wrote the movie. You've had in my case, 48 years almost of not knowing. And then I flicked the switch. And the gradual awakening process has started. And I'm heading up that escalator. And nobody knows where that escalator stops. I.e., how wildly powerful can you get down here as a god? As you start to awaken more and more, what are the possibilities of what you're going to be able to do? How weird can this dream get? Now, I got a taste of this. I had my 3-day enlightenment, and I was able to do some things. Things that would be considered magical. And I know that was to show me how high this escalator goes. None of this is real. It is all a dream. And if that is the case, there are no limitations. The escalator can go right to the top. And my ears ringing. Down here, you can do things that you can do on the other side. So, just imagine how weird things will get in this world. So, the spiritual ego entrapment problem. The trick here is to understanding that each time a new onion layer gets revealed or ripped off and you have a deeper understanding, is to know that this doesn't stop. This isn't going to stop. The escalator is going to keep going up. Don't think you're at the top and everybody else is below you and you're looking down. You're going to keep climbing and people are coming with you. We're all here. We're all God. We're all dreaming these dreams for ourselves. Anyone watching this video is. So, and you can't control it. So it doesn't matter. It's going to happen. You know, don't give anyone your spiritual power. Don't give anyone your power. There is no one more powerful than you. Not me, not anyone. I mean, that goes vice versa. But it is the truth. We are all here doing this. We're all just going to play this out. I don't know how many of us there are compared to how much of this is just simulated without conscious beings. Amanda and I have discussions about this, and we don't agree on the total or where the line is on this. And it is frankly irrelevant, but it's just a discussion. And I know it'll be revealed, but there are a lot of us that are actual God, and I would suspect anyone watching this channel that's interested in this topic, a high likelihood you're on that side. Why would you simulate? It would make no sense. So how crazy can this get? Well, the answer is infinitely crazy. Think of everything that you think is concretized, like the history of the planet, the history of humankind, political systems and their validity. This person was evil, this person wasn't. Any conspiracy theory that you can think of, the crazier the better, it can go there. That can become reality. And there's no way to know until it starts to play itself out. So, if you buy that we are in a dream and you're God pretending you're not, expect crazy. Expect Pleiadian motherships to materialize in the atmosphere. Expect, you take your pick. It doesn't matter. Lizard people, whatever, Anunnaki, yeah, okay, whatever. It can all be real. This is a dream. Why would you get caught up in that, though? Why would you think that is the top of the escalator? You're in a dream. You're God. This is for your entertainment. All this crazy stuff is going to start happening. And the key is to go back to presence. Go back to the breath and go back to the knowing that this is for your entertainment. All of it. It's all for your entertainment. It'd be an awfully boring movie if the aliens didn't show up. Come on now. There's a lot of people that hang their hat on being with a label. And this is also the same trap. This is why I did the video, I don't know which video it was, a couple ago. And I was having like an identity crisis, because as soon as you start calling yourself something, you're stopping there. And that's nonsense. Unless you call yourself God. This is what Jesus taught. The kingdom of heaven is within you. He wasn't being, this isn't a parable. This is literal. It's within you. He nearly got stoned because he was calling himself God. This is what he meant. Yeah. So the history books are going to get rewritten. The political systems are going to get torn down and redone. Everything's going to change. The nature of reality and science is going to change. There is nothing to hang your hat on. It's all going to go away. And the point of that is, you're not supposed to hang your hat on anything. You're here in a dream. You're here to have fun. So, I've had a lot of trouble enacting this in my life, because we've been associated with these bodies so long, and of course this is how the movie would go. This is all just being revealed to you, like I've said a million times. So I've had trouble with this, and I've just recently had this more of a knowing, more of a re-knowing. This is the layer that's been lifted to this point, and I moved up the escalator a little bit. And it begs the question, why would you worry about finances? Why would you worry about anything? If you're God having a dream, and you know this, it's all going to be okay. even if it's not okay from your perspective down here, you'll see why it is when you wake up. So I think I'll leave it there. As I always say, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.